The day is finally here. Star Rail 3.4 version 1 beta has dropped about 2 hours, almost 3 hours ago, and we have mostly everything, I believe. I say this because there might be some stuff that we don't have, but we'll have to wait and see. So give me 1 second just to post one thing. So there we go. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. We're gonna get straight into this. We have a lot to cover. There's gonna be 3 separate videos, one for these characters, one for the buffs, and then one for anything else that I missed. Let's get straight into it. First character is Saber. This is going to be the summoned character of the collab. Here's our model, here's our full art, pretty cool. We're actually doing something a little bit different. We actually have Homdg's Cat's wiki up at the time of recording this, so I don't have to go through all those pictures, thankfully. So we can just show everything right here and right in front of your face. Nothing else to it. Perfect. So, straight into it. Saber. She had here her base stats, pretty interesting, I think. Her attack is pretty low for a destruction character, but it's pretty interesting. Her defense is pretty solid though, and so is her HP. Her speed's at 101. This puts her pretty high in speed. I think it's the 5th highest, I believe, tied in destruction. So there's that. Her ultimate's 360, costs a lot. So there's that. You can see the mats here. Outside of these mats, these mats are pretty old, right? I mean, these two are also pretty old too. These mats are pretty old, probably for the free-to-play players, so they don't have to go to like the new region to farm those enemies, which is pretty good, I think. And then we have, this is the same one that Hyacin uses, so that's good. So you can actually pre-farm for these characters now, both her and Archer. I haven't looked at Phainon's mats, I didn't see it, but I assume you can pre-farm them now too. Alright, moving in. Base attack, basic, wind damage, 100% at Saber's attack. Skill, deals wind damage equal to 150% of her attack to one designated enemy, and deals wind damage equal to 75% of her attack to enemies adjacent to it. If she is currently holding core resonance and consuming it after the skill user will fully regenerate Saber's energy, then increase the damage multiplier for this usage of skill. Each core resonance increases the damage multiplier for this use of skill by 14%, then immediately consumes all core resonance to fully regenerate energy for Saber. Otherwise, immediately gain 2 core resonance. So that was a long bug attack. So basically saying, if you have this and it would give you your max energy, then you would immediately just do this big, bigger damage one. If you don't have that, then you just get 2 core resonance. So, Ultimate Excalibur. Deal wind damage equal to 280% of Saber's attack to all enemies. Then deal wind damage equal to 110% of Saber's attack to one random enemy, occurring 10 times. After using Ultimate, the next base attack switches to release the Golden Scepter, and only that enhanced base attack can be used. The talent, obtain 1 core resonance point when entering battle. When any allied target uses an ultimate, increases damage dealt by Saber by 40% for 2 turns, and obtains 3 core resonance points. Consuming 1 point will generate a fixed 10 energy per Saber. I should mention that our ultimate is expensive, 360. That is the highest energy cost in the game. Like, the only person that's even remotely close is a Grail with 350. So, yeah. This is the overall attack. Technique gives her 35% attack increase for 2 turns, and then 2 core resonance to start the next battle, which is pretty solid. The enhanced base attack gain 2 core resonance and deals wind damage equal to 150% of Saber's attack to all enemies. If there are 2/1 enemies on the field, addition deals wind damage equal to 150%/70% of Saber's attack to all enemies. So interesting, it's 2/1, and not 2 or more /1. I assume it's gonna be worded different. I assume in verse 2 they're gonna reword 2 or more. I assume, but that's pretty interesting. Alright, here's something interesting that I think is cool. She has 4 substats: wind damage, crit rate, HP, and attack. Normally characters only have 3, so her having a 4th is pretty interesting, especially for destruction. I don't know if it's a bug on the site or not, but it's pretty interesting to see. If they keep this, then yeah, this is going to be something pretty interesting to look forward to, I think. Alright, so traces. Increases Saber crit rate by 20%, which is already pretty good. When entering battle and using an enhanced base attack, obtains Mana Burst. If Saber has Mana Burst and Core Resonance at the same time, then she can fully regenerate her energy after using a skill and consumes Mana Burst to allow allies to recover 1 skill point while letting her immediately take action. So it seems pretty good. It seems like when you have this Mana Burst, which is after an enhanced base attack, I think you can just get your ultimate immediately, but I can't say for absolute 100% certainty. So there's that. Next trace, Saber can accumulate up to 120 excess energy. After using the ultimate, the excess energy is cleared and a corresponding amount is regenerated. When the battle starts, if energy is below 40%, it is regenerated to 40%. So one thing to note is if you know what Acheron's past one of traces are, where she gets the excess of the points for ultimate, it's similar to that, where she can just hold up to excess energy. And having this free 40% is nice, though I kind of wish this was wave, but then again, I guess when the wave starts, it would be too busted, so I guess it's fair. And the final trace, when using skill, increases Saber's crit damage by 50% for 2 turns. I mean, yeah, it's really good. It just use the skill, you get free crit damage, no question about it. Alright, Eidolons. E1, increased damage dealt by Saber by 50%, which is already like pretty solid. After Saber uses the base attack or skill, additionally gains 1 core resonance, which is pretty solid. I like that. E2, increased damage dealt with release the Golden Scepter and strike Air Hammer of the Wind King by 50%. And for every 1 core resonance gained, you additionally increase your crit damage by 5% up to 10 times. So you get a 50% crit damage increase. Remember, you're also getting a 50% crit damage when you use a skill, so that's 100% crit damage just for free, which is pretty insane. E3 gives levels up to ultimate and base attack. I mean, this is really good because this is where I assume a good majority of her damage comes from, unless the skill does more. We'll to actually see when we actually go through, but I assume the enhanced base does a little bit more just based on the multipliers, but we'll see. E4, increase Saber's wind resistance penetration by 4%, and after using ult, increase Saber's wind resistance penetration by 4%, stacking up to 4 times. I would not be surprised if they slightly buff this, or at least make it easier to get. Maybe they might change this, to like, what's it called? They go at 6%, so, I mean, there's no easy, I mean, like, maybe 8 or 2, I'm not certain. If they might change that, we don't know yet, but that'd be nice to do that, but we'll have to see. E5 gives skill and talent, because that's the only thing we're missing. And E6, increase the resistance penetration caused by Saber's ultimate damage by 20%. So that's a 40% resistance penetration on ultimate, which is busted. Upon entering battle and using the ultimate for the first time, generates a fixed 300 energy for Saber. After an ultimate is used 4 times, this effect can trigger once more. Note it says an ultimate and not her ultimate, so I assume it's any ultimate on field, which means you can get it back pretty easily if your characters just are able to get their ultimates back pretty quickly, like Tribi. Yeah, this is a pretty solid character. I think this is really solid. I don't think we have voice lines in the game. Yeah, no, we don't. We don't have voice lines yet because, I mean, voice lines usually aren't added for a while. Let's wait for that. I don't think we're stories either. So yeah, that's it for Saber. Pretty cool. Let's look at our Lycone real quickly. Here's the Lycone. Here's the image. I'll open up here for a better view. Looks real cool. And then here's actually story for it. I'm not going to read it here, but if you want to read it, you can pause right here and read it for yourself. It has 952 HP, 582 attack, and 529 defense. And then so the Lycone increased the wearer's crit damage by 36% up to 72. Increase the wearer's attack by 40% up to 8% when using ult. If the wearer's max HP is greater than or equal to 300, it generates a fixed amount of energy equal to 10% of the wearer's max energy, and increase the attack by 40%, lasting for 2 turns. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The only thing is this once per turn on just in general? Because just like if the wearer's max energy is greater than or equal to 300, it generates a fixed amount of energy equal to 10% of the wearer's max energy. Like per every turn, every battle, like we don't know when this happens. I assume it's once per battle, I assume, but I'm not too certain. And increase their attack by 40 to 80%, lasts for 2 turns. So she gets an 80% attack increase on ults. It's crazy. Again, the only big problem here is, let me pull up the Honey Hunter world for this. If we actually look at destruction, no characters have nearly that much energy. No characters. So she's the only one that really benefits from this Lycone. At least the second part of it. But yeah, it's that's Saber. She seems really good. We'll have to wait for gameplay on her to see how well she goes, but I think she's gonna be pretty solid. I do. Next up, Archer, the free Quantum Hunt character they're giving out when the collab starts, which is a couple days after the patch actually opens. Here's his model, pretty cool. Alright, so just give me a second. Everything, a lot of stuff is being just like dropped. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff being dropped right now, and it's like really hard to keep up with everything. But I'll post everything out later. Alright, So, stats, 1000 HP, 620 attack, 45 defense with 105 speed. This attack is actually pretty high for a Hunt, if I remember correctly, because Hunt doesn't have the highest attack in the world. Yeah, he's about right here, tied for, I think it would be like 4th. Yeah, tied for 4th. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty good attack. Here, again, you can pre-program the match from here. I assume this is again just to help with newer players going back to the game. So there's that. So let's talk about Archer. Deals quantum damage equal to 100% of Archer's attack to one designated enemy, which is pretty solid. The skill, which actually says it uses up 2 skill points and not 1, which is interesting. Excuse me. Enter the circuit's connection state, and you deal quantum damage equal to 40% of Archer's attack to one designated enemy target. When you're in this state, the turn does not end after using skill, and increase damage dealt by Archer's skill by 100%, stacking up to 2 times, lasting until he exits the state. After actively using skill 5 times, or when there are insufficient skill points, using skill again causes him to exit the circuit connection state and ends his turn. Exits the circuit connection state after all enemies have been defeated each wave. This is he is going to be burning all of these skill points, but he's going to melt somebody, I think, if the multipliers are actually true. Pretty good. This is a lot of melt. There's a lot of just damage outright, but it costs a lot of skill points. So, Quantum Sparkle fans like me, rise up. We got our new main DPS for that, and he's free. And then this just exits the state. Ultimate Unlimited Blade Works, 240 energy. Deals quantum damage equal to 1200% of Archer's attack to one designated enemy and gains 2 charge up to max of 4 charge. Now, do I think they're gonna keep this big multiplier? No, I really don't. I really don't think so. We'll have to see how version 1 plays out, but if he starts nuking people with this ult, I don't think so. But it's pretty solid, I think. It's pretty good. Getting charge off this is for the talent Mind's Eye True. When Archer's teammate attacks an enemy target, Archer consumes 1 charge and immediately launches a follow-up attack on the primary target, dealing quantum damage equal to 240% of Archer's attack and recovering 1 skill point. Pretty good, I think. I remember you have up to 2 per ult, so there's that. I believe, yeah, the skill gives 30 energy, and if you're constantly getting that, you'll probably be able to get that pretty easily, I think. Well, let's see though. And the follow-up attack gives 5 energy too, so there's that. Technique, immediately attacks the enemy, and after enter combat, you deal quantum damage equal to 200% of your attack to all enemies and gain the charge. Pretty good. I mean, it's something great, crazy, everything, but hey, it's free follow-up attack and a free skill point. Can't complain too much. So, stat boost, he gets quantum damage boost, an HP increase, and crit rate. Interesting that it's very low, but hey, we'll take anything. His talents, honestly, they're kind of iffy, but we'll read them. When Archer's on the field, increase the maximum skill point limit by 1. This is pretty good. When Archer enters battle, gains a charge. I kind of wish this was per wave, but it's not. I mean, sure. So, if you use your technique, you'll immediately get 2 charge, so there's that. After allies gain a skill point, if there are 4 skill points or more, increase Archer's crit damage by 60% for 1 turn. Which is pretty. This is mainly for Sparkle fans because they'll absolutely have more than 4. So there's that. But yeah, it's pretty good crit damage increase. I would say he's probably gonna go much heavily into crit rate because crit damage he doesn't seem like something he's like absolutely like lacking in. So we'll see. Eidolons, after using skill 3 times a single turn, the next skill use in the current turn will not consume skill points. Pretty good. E2, increase damage dealt by 120%. Pretty interesting that this is the entire thing. Like this is something you would see back from like the version 1 line where it's just like a block like a line of text. That's it. Though to be fair, his ultimate hits really hard, so fair enough, I guess. And he's free. E3 gives skill and base attack level up. Thankfully, it's skill because the skill is actually really hard hitting, so that's good. E4, if the target of the ultimate does not possess quantum weakness, it'll be applied during the ultimate and reduce the target's quantum resistance by 10% for 2 turns. So you'll get a quantum resistance applier, which is solid. Though if you have Silver Wolf with the newer buffs, which I'll go into most likely next video, yeah. So this won't be. I don't think this will be that necessary. E5, ultimate and talent level up. And E6, when the turn begins, immediately recover 1 skill point for allies, increases the maximum stack to damage boost provided by his own skill by 1, and the damage dealt by a skill ignores 20% defense. So at E6, he becomes, I think, just a really strong character. I think so. So that is it for his kit. Just gonna quickly look at one thing real quick because people are posting a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's so much stuff being posted out, and I can't go through everything right now. All right, so, and then we'll go over his light cone. Right here, the hell where ideals burn. Again, if you want to read the story around it, here it is. It has 952 HP, 582 attack, and 529 defense. Wait, that's so much of this. It's the, wait, no, it's the exact same. Interesting. Okay, and then right here, hunting. I think it's supposed to be hunting. Increase, maybe not. I would be wrong. Increase the wearer's crit rate by 16% up to 32. When entering battle, when the max limit of ally skill points is greater than or equal to 6, increase wearer's attack by 40% up to 80%, and after the wearer uses skill, increase the attack by 10% up to 20%, stacked up to 4 times. Yeah, if you need another reminder, if you need like a big reminder that you need Sparkle for this, here it is right here. This is it right here. This one line right here is all you need to know. Though to be fair, he does increase the limit, I believe, so you don't absolutely need Sparkle for this. If I can find it real quick, it's, yeah, you increase by 1, so you don't absolutely need it, but it helps a lot. It really does. And I believe at E6 or E4 Sparkle, you get an additional skill point, so that's 9 skill points you can have, which is insane. It's insane. But yeah, here's like on here. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good for the character. Yeah, I don't really have the biggest complaints. This is also not the worst thing ever, because this doesn't have a time limit, so you have just a free attack, free crit rate. This isn't a horrible icon, honestly. So yeah, that's it for Archer. Now we'll go into probably the character that I know I was looking for when I saw Phainon. I will say this now. Obviously, I will not post animations here. I have not done so before, and I will not do so here. If you want to find them, you can find them on Twitter, on YouTube. They're already all over YouTube, so you can find them there. But man, Phainon has the best animation in the game, hands down. There's like no doubt about it. Okay, cool. The buff characters are added to the wiki, so I can put that in the video. Good. Alright, so let's go over Phainon, because I want to get into the thing. Alright, so here is Phainon. No, this might be wrong. I assume this is wrong because this is made for quantum characters. I assume they meant to put the physical one. If you don't know, I can go here actually. There was a new physical material they used for this, the invasive plot. I assume they meant to use that instead of this. I assume that's filler, but I could be wrong. So I say for now, don't farm this one. But if future versions don't change this, then yeah, keep that in mind. You're gonna be farming the destruction one, obviously. You're gonna be farming these, and you're gonna be farming the new weekly boss for him, which is pretty interesting. Alright, so really quickly we'll get through this because I want to reach before I hit the 30-minute mark. Deals physical damage equal to 100% of Phainon's attack to one designated enemy. Skill gains 2 points of core flame, dealing physical damage equal to 300% of Phainon's attack to one designated enemy, and physical damage equal to 120% of Phainon's attack to adjacent targets. Oh, that's pretty good, honestly. I think it's pretty solid. Just get these, because these core flames matter. You'll see why. The ultimate, he who bears the world must burn. You transform into, I'm gonna call him unnamed because we don't know the name of it yet. It was briefly shown in 3.3 story, so that's that. And deploys a territory during transformation. Other teammates in the territory become departed and cannot take action, and all enemies gain physical weakness. Unnamed does not have his own turn, but has 8 extra turns with a fixed speed equal to 6% of the unknown's base speed. At the start of the final extra turn, Emiya launches a final hit and deals physical ultimate damage equal to 90% of Unknown's attack that is distributed evenly across all enemies. So, yep, there's that. Alright, here's the territory. Yep, territory effects are unique to battle. Other abilities with territory effects cannot be used. So, the only other territory in the game right now is Castorias, so you cannot use them in the same thing. But to be fair, the only difference is that you just the Castorias will not take action anyway in this territory, so it might be okay. I still wouldn't do it though. And departed targets and departed state cannot be tested as ability targets and will not appear the action order. And in the extra turn, when Phainon transforms into Unknown, a countdown will appear in the action order. When the countdown begins, Unknown will get 1 extra turn. When the last turn of the countdown hits, transform into this, and delivers a final hit before ending the transformation. The countdown initiation action value will be set between 0 and 100%. The action value will not be reset at the start of each wave. When Unknown is under the effect of action advance, the first countdown's action is advanced instead, which is pretty interesting. Talent. Phainon's talent specifically, when Core Flame reaches 12 points, you can use the ultimate. That's why it's only 12 energy, because it's a special, point value, just like Acheron, Face Shout, all that. After reaching the max limit, up to 3 excess points can be accumulated, just like Acheron. When Phainon is the target of an ally or an enemy's ability, he gains 1 point of Core Flame. When he is the target of an ally's ability, increase crit damage by 30%, lasts for 3 turns. Pretty good. This is overworld stuff, we can ignore that. Technique, when Phainon is in the team, no longer, none of that obtaining, nope, none of that. So this is not a global passive, I repeat, not a global passive. Increases max technique points by 3. Sorry. Actively uses technique by consuming 2 technique points to immediately attack all enemies within a certain range. After ending battle, regenerates 25 energy for allies, which is really good. Gains 2 Scourge and 1 skill point. Deals physical damage equal to 200% of his attack to all enemies starting each wave, which is really good. If attacking a normal enemy, immediately defeats them without entering combat. When not hitting enemies, no technique points are consumed. So, yep. I mean, to be fair, for what you're doing, 2 technique points is pretty tame for what you're doing. And then Scourge, it's Unknown's exclusive charges, going up to max of 6. Unlocking a specific Eidolon raises it to 8. We'll go into that in a second. The skill Foundation Death Star Judgment requires consuming Bruise to use. Bruise can be attained by using Creation Bloodthorn Passage and Calamity Soulburning Decree. Bruise will be retained even when not yet transformed into the Unknown state. So I'll have to read into this a bit more, but I don't know if he's the same. We'll read it. Alright, so Creation Bloodthorn Fairy, which is the base attack. You contain 2 Scourge, dealing physical damage equal to 250% of the attack to one designated enemy, and physical damage equal to 75% of the attack to the enemies adjacent to it. So you actually get a blast basic attack, which is pretty solid. Skill gains Bruise by amount equal to the number of enemy targets present, and then causes all enemy targets to immediately take action, and gains 1 stack of Soul Running Blaze. When in the Soul Running Blaze state, reduces his damage received by 75%, and gains 1 additional stack of Soul Running Blaze after enemy targets attack or take action. Triggers a counter after all enemies take their immediate actions, dealing physical damage to all enemies equal to 40% of the attack, as well as additionally deals 4 instances of damage, each instance being physical damage equal to 30% of its attack. Then Soul Running Blaze is dispelled, and each stack of it will increase this counter's damage multiplier by 20% of the original multiplier. So, it's pretty good. Damage dealt through this ability is considered as skill damage, and if Soul Running Blaze is still active at the start of the extra turn, immediately you launch the counter. And then, obviously, you already know what counters are, so not to go into all that. So, the talent for the Unknown, when transforming, gain 4 points of Bruise. If it is during an ally's target turn, all buffs on that ally target will be extended by 1 turn and the current turn ends. So basically, it's so you don't lose those buffs on that character. Unknown is immune to crowd control debuffs and has 1 enhanced base attack and 2 enhanced skills, but cannot use his ultimate. During his transformation, increase attack by 80% and max HP by 240%. After attacking, restores HP equals 20% of his max HP. Upon taking a killing blow, Unknown will not get knocked down and will instead restore HP equals to 25% of his max HP and immediately launch final hit. For every 1 remaining extra turn he has, the final damage multiplier hits damage multiplier reduced by 12.5% of the original multiplier. So don't die. And when the transformation ends, increase all ally HP by 50% lasting for 1 turn. For free. Scourge is his exclusive charges. We've already read this. We already read all this. And then crowd control debuff. Yep. And we already read this. A skill, Foundation Star Death Verdict, dispels all debuff from this unit and then deals physical damage up to 1,170% of his attack. In that, for every 1 point of Bruise consumed, deal 4 instant damage, each instance being physical damage equal to 45% of his attack to dealt to one enemy, random enemy. And when consuming 4 stacks of it, it deals physical damage equal to 50% of attack, and this damage is evenly distributed to all enemies. Because of course. I assume Bruise and Charge are the same thing, and they just Scourge and Bruise are the same thing. I assume so. Alright, stat boost, 37% crit damage, 12% crit rate, 5 speed. These are just some of the best subsets just in the game. These are the three most sought after subsets in the game, and he just has all 3, so free. Alright, talents, when the transformation ends, he gains 3 points of Core Flame, so he's already, so if you have the extra 3, you'll be starting off halfway to your ultimate already, which is insane. When receiving healing effects or shields from a teammate, increase damage dealt by 40% for 4 turns. This effect cannot be triggered repeatedly within 1 turn. When receiving energy regeneration ability effects provided by teammates, gains 1 point of core flag. So now characters like Huo Huo and like Ting Yun and such are no longer useless, right? Now they actually do something. And then when entering battle or when transformation ends, 50% attack increase, stacking it to 2 times. So 100% attack for free, basically, after the ult ends. So here's all the Eidolons. It's gonna be a lot to go through. E1, the speed of Unknown's extra turn increases to 72% of the base speed, and when Core Flame reaches the max limit, the unit's physical resistance penetration increased by 50%, lasts for 2 turns. Just skip this. Unknown attacks and deals damage equal to 120% of the original damage. When consuming 4 Scourge to use Foundation's Stardust Verdict, gains 1 extra turn, because of course. Alright. And then with E3, you get ultimate and base attack, which is pretty strong. E4, when using Calamity's Skull Scorch Edict, addition gains 4 seconds. Skull Scorch, I believe, is this here, right here. So it's that counter thing that lets you use the counter. E5, you just skill and talent. Then E6, the max Scourge increases by 2 when using Creation Bloodthorn Fairy or Calamity's Skull Scorch Edict. Addition gains 2 Scourge. After using the attack from Stardust Verdict, additionally deals true damage equal to 20% of the total damage dealt in this attack to the enemy with the highest HP. Because that's what he needed, true damage. Yeah, this character is really strong, if you didn't know. Yeah, he's powerful. And then here's his light cone. This is by far the best looking light cone in the game. Look at it, it looks so good. It looks so good. So there's that. Here's stats, 952 HP, 687 attack, and 396 defense. A lot of attack for the character, which makes sense. The wearer's base speed increases by 12, up max 20. When the wearer deals damage, ignores 18% of 30% of target's defense. After the wearer uses ultimate, obtains Blazing Sun, which is removed at the start of the turn. And when Blazing Sun is active, increase the wearer's damage dealt by 18% up to 30%. Because why not? Yeah. Because remember, he will be taking a bunch of extra turns, which don't count as his actual normal turn. So you'll just be having a free 18% damage increase while you have that. Yeah, this guy is probably gonna be the best character. Just bar none. Like, it's gonna put like cast 3s to shame. And I don't even think these two are gonna even like come close. I don't think so. But yep, that is everything for new characters wise for this patch. I'll be going over all the buff specifics. And then I'll talk everything there in the summer video, just because there's so much to cover and I want to separate everything out. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed the new characters of 3.4. Tell me who you're hyped for out of these 3. And yeah, tell me if you're planning to E6 or summon at all for any of these characters. I hope you are excited as I am, and I will see you very shortly in the next video. See you later.